Rod with Bastrop Fire Department. I'm the assistant chief of the fire department. And we got firefighter Elisha on the other side coming around. We're going to show you some of our stuff and talk to you about some fires in our department stuff today. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about a few things first, then we're going to show you around our fire truck and show you some stuff that we wear. So one of the first things I want to talk about is how many of you all know what's in your house that sniffs for you at night when your nose quits working while you're sleeping. So there's something in your house that does the sniffing right there in the back. You, buddy.
Sometimes my dad,
Okay, I'm looking for an answer to my question, not a story from you. Thank you, though. We'll find out later, right here in the front.
smoke.
It's smoke. What kind of smoke? What's it doing? A smoke alarm is in your house, right? You should all have a smoke alarm in your house that goes off when there's smoke in your house, because at night your sniffer doesn't work the same. You don't necessarily smell things at night. So you have a smoke alarm that goes off. How many of y'all know what you should do when the smoke alarm goes off?
Wake up.
Right over here. And somebody here said it. What were you saying? Get outside and stay outside. That's right. Talk to your mom and dad beforehand and make sure you all have a place where you know where you're all going to meet. It's very important that you all go where mom and dad know where you're going to be, because that way when we get there we know you're out. If you go somewhere else and hide and mom and dad don't know you're out, when we get there we're going to have to go into the burning building looking for you. Okay, so some of the things right here, firefighter Elisha is putting on his gear. See the big old pants we wear? They're a special material that's hard to cut, and it's also got thick stuff on the inside that protects us from the heat. And he's going to go ahead and put on his jacket and stuff too. This is all the stuff that we wear. How many of you guys have seen a firefighter in all their gear? You have? How many of you guys have heard what it sounds like?
I did.
You did? Okay, well, we're going to show you again today. An important thing with this is if you guys ever see him dressed out like this, don't hide from him, don't be scared from him. You need to listen to him, go to him, and get out of the building. Now if you're already outside the building, stay back so he can go in and do his job. You can look from afar. Okay, who knows what's in smoke detectors that makes them work? Over there in the back. Yeah, you the one that's looking around? Nope, you don't. Air? Well, there's something. What do you have to put in the smoke detector and check every once in a while?
Battery.
A battery. You guys got to check the batteries for those. You need to check them at least twice a year. So when you change the clocks for the daylight savings time, you should check your batteries. Did y'all hear the beeping of firefighter Elisha? That's part of his air pack there, a special gear that tells us where he's at if he stops moving. What was what? Oh, that's my radio. I'll turn that down for a minute. We don't need that distracting us. You guys all see firefighter Elisha? He's about to put on the air too, so you can hear him. Go ahead and walk up in beside him, firefighter Elisha. So it's not a scary breathing monster, it's just a firefighter in there to help you. Who knows why he wears that pack and has a mask on? Does anybody know why? Yeah. Yeah, so he can breathe. Well, not in the fire. We try and stay out of the fire, but this makes it so we can go into the smoke. The smoke is what usually gets you. The smoke is very bad. There's poisons in the smoke, and the air takes the place of the smoke takes the place of the air, so you don't have enough air to breathe. So you guys can see firefighter Elisha. This is what a firefighter looks like. Go ahead and take it back off, firefighter Elisha, so you can see what he was like before and what he's like after. Take it off. Have you guys done anything about it? Do you know what to do if your clothes catch on fire? Do you really have the answer, or are you just raising your hand? Okay, so what was that? What was the first thing you do?
And then roll over.
What's the first thing you do?
Stop.
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 Then what do?
Fall.
You drop. You drop to the ground.
And roll over.
And then roll over back and forth to put out the fire. Good job. See, so that wasn't just some scary guy. That's just firefighter Elijah. He's here to help us.
That's still a little scary, huh?
No, it's not. You want to know something neat about firefighter Elijah? I taught his little boy when he was in pre-K 4. How old is he now?
8.
He's 8.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So he's a dad too. He's a dad and a husband and a firefighter.
Like my brother hat.
Yep. Yes.
One time we were doing sparkles. I got a sparkle on my toe.
Okay.
Toe caught on fire and I kept running and running.
Oh, you need to stop, drop, and roll. Okay, I'll let you guys ask some questions when we're all done. And then, do you guys know what questions are?
I don't have
Questions are who, what, when, where, and why. It's something that you want to know that you don't already know. A story is something you want to tell me, but in the end, we're going to be looking for questions. Things that you don't know that you want me to tell you, okay? So we're going to show you our fire truck real quick, and we'll even walk you around the other side if you want to. And if we have time, I think we have time, we might let you get inside the fire truck. But you're only going to be able to walk through, okay? So we'll start up here in the front. This is where the driver gets in. Can you see it's got a big old steering wheel? What's the first thing you guys should do whenever you get into a car? Right in the front? Ah, somebody said it. Buckle your seatbelt. That's our rule too. When you get in the car, before this truck goes, we got to wear our seatbelts. This truck's even actually got a special fancy thing in it. The driver has an alarm. It tells him if there's somebody sitting in the seat and the seatbelt's not on, it beeps for him and lets him know who's not wearing their seatbelt. Would you guys like something like that in your car?
Yeah. My mom has one.
Your mom has one? Well, that's
My
cool.
grandma does. Mine too.
Ah.
Mine too.
Well, back in here is where our firefighters ride. We've got actually 6 seats in this fire truck, so even though it's a big truck, it's huge, but it can only take 6 people. We only have 6 seat belts.
Oh.
And in our seats, you'll see when we get in here, our seats are specially built. They have a special rack that holds that backpack firefighter Elisha was wearing. It holds it in there for us.
I want to see.
You're gonna see it in a minute.
Me too.
All right.
What's the odds that? Not all of us.
In here is where our hoses are at. You might just leave it out.
Why do you have different colors? Why do you have different colors of hoses?
Right here is where all of our fire hoses are. These ones are already connected to our pump, so all we have to do is pull it out and turn it on, and it's ready to go.
No, where's the nose? Yeah, I do.
So we've got 3 different hoses here. This one's the bigger one. Look at that.
Whoa.
This one can squirt over 500 gallons of water per minute.
Whoa. And how does it work?
How does it work? Well, there's a big pump inside of there that's controlled by this pump panel. And I'll talk about that in a second, but it makes water go to the hose and it squirts it out. Kind of like a water gun, only a lot bigger. Your water gun can only squirt maybe a couple of ounces a minute. This truck can squirt 500 gallons. How many of you know how big a milk carton is? A big milk jug. That's 1 gallon. This truck can squirt 500 of those per second out of that one hose. Our little hose here can do about 150 to 200 gallons per minute.
Whoa.
This truck can total pump over 2,000 gallons of water every minute. Yeah, that's a lot. We've actually got a tank inside the truck that holds 1,000 gallons of water. Yeah, so that sounds like a lot, but that means I can pump all the water out of this truck in less than a minute. And when we go to fight a fire, a big structure fire, we will usually pump 60 to 90,000 gallons of water easily on a structure fire. A car fire, we pump anywhere between 1,000 and 5,000 gallons. So right here we got controls that control all of our hoses on our truck. I've got 10 different places that I can squirt water out of this fire truck at one time. We've even got a special device up on top that can raise up, and we call it a deck gun. It's a big nozzle that's attached on top. That one can squirt 1,500 gallons of water a minute. got this big thing right here that we connect up these hoses here. Who has a garden hose this big? You got a garden hose this big?
Yeah.
That's cool. Huh? That's
I
an expensive
do.
hose. You think so?
I
You have a garden hose, but is it that big?
Yeah.
Really? Your water bill must be big.
No.
A section of this hose, a 100-foot section of this hose will hold 800 gallons of water. So when it's full, it weighs over 800 pounds. Just this one section of hose. Fortunately, we don't carry that one around. That's the one we hook it up to a fire hydrant and put it into our truck. We lay it out empty, and once it's full, it only goes to our truck. Those little hoses are the ones we have to pull around. They're heavy enough. In here, we carry all kinds of different tools with us. Sometimes we got to clean things up. So we bring scoops, and we got a broom in here too.
Whoa, that's big.
Yeah.
Really big.
Because we help clean up big messes. On the car wrecks, and sometimes we have to put out special material that absorbs the oil. And we have to clean it up, so we bring out the big scoops to clean that up. Here's another special tool. This one is called a halogen tool.
What is that for?
That's what helps us get into houses when the doors are locked and we have to go in to save somebody and they can't unlock the door for us. We have special tools that help us break into doors. We also use it on cars if we need to. We can pry open a door on a car.
That's crazy.
And sometimes we have little doors. So we use the little one.
Like if you're in a tree house and it has a door.
Now this is the one I'm sure everybody's seen.
Wow.
Yep, we've got axes.
I know. Break into some houses.
Yeah, or we'll use it to break a roof too, to let the smoke and heat out too. Wherever we need to use it on, we'll use it. All right, come on back here. We've got a couple of big old jugs. This is some special stuff we can put in there. How many of you play with bubbles? You guys like bubbles? Bubbles are fun. Well, firemen have big bubbles. This is a big tank that makes foam. We can put this in here because some of the stuff that we have to put out on the fire, the water will actually, like gasoline will float on top of water, so the water won't put it out. So we have to put this special stuff in there, and it'll cover the gasoline and help us put out the fire. Go ahead and open the drawer there, firefighter Elisha.
A chopper down. That's what I call it, chopper down. Because it's chopper.
This is actually a big old saw. We use this most of the time for cutting a hole in the roof. If there's a fire, we got to let all the smoke out. So we go up on the roof and we cut a big old hole in the roof to let the smoke out. We can also use this sometimes. We use this on a car fire to cut the hood open because the hoods get kind of hard to open when the latch doesn't work anymore. So we just cut it open and then put the fire out. We have a big old fan here that firefighter Elijah's hand was on. This we can set that up at the door and help blow the smoke out of the house.
I knew that.
Jaws?
I knew that too.
You don't know.
I don't think you knew that.
How many of you guys know that we go to wrecks too? When there's a car wreck, this truck is actually a combination truck. It's a combination rescue and pumper. The pumper is the pump and the water, and then we also have rescue tools on it. Look at this big thing that firefighter Elisha's got there. This is part of a set of tools called the Jaws of Life. How many of you guys have heard of the Jaws of Life? Yeah? Well, this one is called the cutters, or the shears, and I kind of call them, those are my big car scissors. I can cut a car with those just like you cut paper with scissors. They're a lot heavier and a lot stronger than your scissors, though. And actually, those won't cut paper at all, but they'll cut a car. He's going to grab another tool out here that we call a spreader. This tool can open things up. That tool can actually exert over 60,000 pounds of pressure at the tip. So we can actually pry a door open, or if we have to, we can actually lift a car up with that. But we have another tool that's a ram that just goes straight up and down that we use for that more often. All right.
I have no idea.
Who wants to see the other side of my fire truck?
Me!
All right. Well, I'm going to let you get over there a special way. I'm going to let you crawl through. But I got a couple of rules. Before you can get into my fire truck, when you climb up in there, I know you guys are big, But this fire truck's bigger, so you got to let somebody help you get in and somebody help you get out. I don't want anybody trying to get in and out by themselves because I don't want anybody to fall down and get hurt. The other thing, while you're in there, you cannot touch the tools or any buttons. You got to be very careful. All my equipment in there is set up and is ready for when we go to a call. My firefighters know where their stuff is and it's all ready to go if they need it. If you guys get in there playing with things, then it might not be ready for them when we need it, and that's important. Because when we go to an emergency, we don't have time to go back and get more tools or go and fix things and get it ready. We have to come back to the station and we do everything, get this truck ready for the next call when we go out. A lot of times, actually, putting out the fire is the shorter part of our job. Getting everything ready for the next one is what takes longer.
I have a balloon like that.
So we got more tools on this side of our truck. Back here we have another big old fan we can put in the door to blow smoke and heat out of a building. And sometimes when we're cleaning up on the highway, we can blow it off with this.
My dad had one of those. My dad had one of those.
How many of you guys play with Lincoln Logs? You know what Lincoln Logs are?
Yeah. I have Lincoln Logs.
We have firefighter Lincoln Logs in here.
Whoa.
We have a whole bunch of these and we stack them up just like Lincoln Logs. But these are designed to hold the weight of a car. So what we do is, if we need to bring up or lift up a car, we have special tools to do that. And then we put these under it to hold it in place. Can anybody guess what this is? Really? What do you think it is? You don't know? Then why'd you raise your hand?
A board.
A board? Nope, look, it bends. It's rubber. This is actually an airbag. It blows up. We can hook up our air bottles to this and lift things up.
Can you try it?
This bag can lift 24,000 pounds. You know how much that is?
What?
It can lift up that car back there with all of you guys in it.
Whoa.
It can't lift up this truck though. This truck weighs about 42,000 pounds.
Whoa.
So these are special tools that we can use. If there's a car wreck or a train wreck even, we can use these bags to lift things up off of people.
Can you try to use it?
Oh, not right now. Who knows what this is?
It's a life jacket!
Life jackets, that's right. We have rules in our department. If we ever go out on a boat or even if we're working down by the water, we wear a life jacket. Even though we know how to swim.
I know how to swim. Me too!
Well, yeah, me too.
Me too!
But we still wear life jackets because it's for safety.
I can swim at 12 feet. Me too! I can swim.
Alright, what if you hit your head and you get knocked out? Can you still swim?
I can swim.
Okay, so that's our truck. And you've seen our gear. And Firefighter Elisha's showing you a different kind of helmet. That's one of the helmets we wear out in the wildland. It's a lighter one. He's trying to keep his head from getting sunburned there.
Yeah, not much hair on it.
Alright, I'm going to let you guys ask some questions now and we'll answer them the best we can. But remember, a question is something that you want to know that you don't already know. It's not a story that you want to tell me. We can tell stories to your friends and your teachers later. But right now, I'm trying to teach you guys, so I want to give you information. If there's something you want to know, ask me a question. Who, what, when, where, why. When does a fire come out? Fires happen any time of the day or night. We got called last night, what, 1 o'clock in the morning? Those were actually wrecks we got called to in the middle of the night last night. Yesterday at about 2:30 in the morning, we went to a fire over by the restaurant next door to Buc-ee's. So the fires happen any time of the day or night. They call us out. We have special pagers that they can send out a signal and tell us, hey, come to the fire station, we got a problem. And then we can use our radios and tell them back, okay, we're coming. That's how we have our equipment that knows. We're almost done here. All right, do you remember your question?
Well, how can you, open, a roof or a car?
How can we open a roof on a car?
No, a roof and a car.
A roof and a car. Well, we have different tools for each of those. To cut a hole in a roof, we either use the chainsaw or that big circular saw I showed you. For a car, we either use these big car scissors back here, or we've got a smaller saw that's called a sawzall, or reciprocating saw, that we can actually cut a hole in the roof with.
But how
Go ahead.
how can it open?
How can it open? We cut a hole and we cut it.
How come it's strong and it's medium?
Because our tools are stronger.
It's called hydraulics. When you get bigger, you can look into that.
If we hit the stuff hard enough, it'll make a hole, and then once the hole's started, we can cut.
Yep.
Or we can go through windows or whatever.
Most everything can break if you have something strong enough to do it. A stronger tool. That tool is actually made out of a material called tungsten carbide. It's a very strong, very hard material. When does the fire blow up? Fires don't often blow up. They usually just burn quickly. We don't have a whole lot of explosions around here, fortunately. Stuff doesn't blow up like it does on TV so much. Things can blow up, but it doesn't happen very often. How do fires happen when it's winter? Same time, the same way they happen when it's summer. You get something that's hot enough to start the fire, hits something that will burn, and that's how a fire happens. There's lots of different ways how fires start, so I can't really talk about all right now because there's too many ways to describe. When you get older, if you want to, you can learn to be a firefighter and you learn a lot of the ways, but I don't even think firefighters that have been doing this a long time know every way because there's just too many ways for it to happen. You just have to be careful. Over here in the front. How does fire make smoke? Well, when something's burning, it's doing something called decomposition. It's breaking apart into smaller parts. Because everything's made up of tiny little molecules. When you burn it, some of those come off, and that's what's your smoke. Can a fire station burn? Is that what you're asking? Okay. A fire station's a building just like any other. If there's the right conditions happen, yes, it can catch fire. And there have been some in the country that have happened. That there have been problems with their trucks. We have special battery chargers in our trucks that we actually plug our trucks in when we get to the station. When those go bad, sometimes they'll actually catch a truck on fire. Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Yes, sir. Oh, of course we have a ladder. This truck actually has 3 ladders?
Yeah, and there's one right here.
Well, 4. We've got several ladders. We have this little folding ladder right here that's really convenient to take inside of buildings. Then we have bigger ones. They're just in a compartment in the back, and they're kind of high, and I'm kind of lazy, don't want to climb up there and grab them all out right now. But yes, this truck holds ladders inside. We have a 24-foot, a 16-foot, this extension one, and another little one that folds that we can carry into a building easier.
That was a good question.
Yes, that was. This isn't a ladder truck. You guys have seen those big trucks with the ladder built onto them, huh? Yeah, we don't have one of those right now. Those are very expensive. Those usually cost about $1 million to $2 million. This truck right here costs $475,000 without the equipment on it when it was we bought it, and we bought it as a demo model, so we got a discount on it. Brand new, this version of truck with all the equipment on it costs over $750,000. We have a special ladder on the back of our truck here. Some of you guys may have seen this one. We've actually got more storage compartments. See up here where it says Bastrop Fire Department? Up in there, we've actually got more compartments along the top of the truck where we can store more equipment. We've got some rescue equipment up there that we don't use very often, but we might need it, so we carry it all up there and we carry it all with us.
Boys and girls, what do you say to the firefighters for coming out today?
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the good questions.
Thank you for protecting
Okay, real quick, bud.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sure you do. But I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. It's kind of dangerous. It's pretty tall up there. You guys, you saw just going in the fire truck that's taller than you, huh? In where we ride. Can you imagine being up on top of there? Wow. Okay.
All right, let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. All right, listen for your teachers to line you up. So put on
Listen
your
to your
listening
teachers. You get
ears,
to go in and get out of the
please.
sun now.